Okay, perhaps the best speech of the night was actually Vivek Ramaswamy. So Vivek, who ran a shock campaign, obviously. He came from literally nowhere to become a national figure in an extraordinarily short period of time. Vivek is super bright. Here is Vivek's speech at the RNC.
What does it mean to be a Republican in the year 2024? What does it mean to be an American in the year 2024? It means we believe in the ideals of 1776. It means we believe in merit, that you get ahead in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions.
Now, Vivek actually did a speech not all that long ago at the National Conservative Convention in which he discussed what he called national libertarianism, as opposed to sort of national protectionism, which was a much more free market-oriented version of some of what J.D. Vance talks about. It's a fascinating speech, and it's well worth the read for sure. Again, this is a diverse party, and that diversity was on display last night. Nikki Haley was sort of the big moment of the night. She, of course, ran the longest campaign against President Trump in the primary. She was the most critical of President Trump in the primary. She offered her endorsement on the stage. And again, this is a big thing. It's not a small thing. There are a lot of people in the Republican Party who are saying, well, I'm going to hold out because if Nikki's holding out, then I'm going to hold out too. But the reality is that Nikki Haley was in Donald Trump's cabinet. Nikki Haley knows better than anyone that Donald Trump is going to do a much better job as president of the United States than Joe Biden. And politics is a game of egos. In politics, feathers get ruffled. Egos get bruised. Nikki Haley coming out and doing the right thing and endorsing Donald Trump is a big moment for Nikki Haley, and it is very good for the Republican Party. Here's the former governor of South Carolina and UN ambassador.
President Trump asked me to speak to this convention in the name of unity. It was a gracious invitation, and I was happy to accept. I'll start by making one thing perfectly clear. Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period. I'm here tonight because we have a country to save. And a unified Republican Party is essential for saving her.
And Trump's reaction, which is magnanimous there, again, it speaks to the fact that he does actually want to unify the party. There are a lot of former rivals who came out of the woodwork to speak about President Trump last night. Ted Cruz, of course, was his chief rival in 2016. Here was Senator Cruz, who, of course, has become a very, very strong Trump ally in the years since 2016.
Today, as a result of Joe Biden's presidency, your family is less safe. Your children are less safe. The country is less safe. But here's the good news. We can fix it. And when Donald Trump is president, we will fix it.
All these folks flew into the RNC. I'll tell you what they could have used. They could have used some balance of nature, because the reality is when you're flying around the country for work and you're constantly on the go, you have to keep your health at your very best. Listen, when I'm traveling around, I exercise, I try to get enough sleep, I try to eat well. But here's the thing. I need balance of nature. Balance of nature fits right into my day-to-day. Imagine trying to eat 31 different fruits and vegetables every day. That sounds miserable and time-consuming. With balance of nature fruits and veggies, there's never been a more convenient dietary supplement to ensure you get a wide variety of fruits and veggies every day with 31 different whole fruit and vegetable ingredients. Balance of Nature takes fruits and veggies, they freeze-dry them, they turn them into a powder, and then they put them into a capsule. You take your fruit and veggie capsules every day, and your body knows what to do with them. They're kosher, which is how I can take them in the smoothies. They keep me going strong. Go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. Plus, get a free bottle of fiber and spice. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Shapiro. I've been using Balance of Nature, so has our staff. Everybody is very happy with the results. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Shapiro. Get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. Governor Ron DeSantis, of course, was the person who probably had the strongest shot of beating Trump in the primaries very early on. Obviously, he made the right decision to drop out of the race when he didn't win Iowa and did poorly in New Hampshire. He's still the most successful governor in America, down in my home state of Florida. Again, he was the person I had picked in the primaries above President Trump if he'd made it that far in the primaries. He, of course, endorsed Trump very early as soon as he dropped out of the race. He spoke last night. He had probably the line of the night, talking about how we need somebody who's not a weekend at Bernie's president.
As a citizen, as a husband, and as a father, I am alarmed that the current president of the United States lacks the capability to discharge the duties of his office. Our enemies do not confine their designs to between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. We need a commander-in-chief who can lead 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. America cannot afford 4 more years of a weekend at Bernie's presidency.
That, of course, is obviously true. And of course, there were some other jokes that were told about the fact that Joe Biden is no longer sentient. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is the former press secretary for President Trump and now is the governor of Arkansas, she joked about who exactly is the president of the United States.
I got the chance to take my 4-year-old son, Huck, to bring your kid to work day. Much like Jill now drags Joe to bring your husband to work day.
Okay. It's a good line, and it ain't wrong. It's kind of true. Other highlights of the evening, Senator Tom Cotton, again from Arkansas, he went off on immigration. Of course, this may be the single platform in the Republican Party plank that everybody agrees on is a stronger position on immigration. The party's all over the damn place on a wide variety of issues, but on immigration, there is relative policy unity.
After Joe Biden and the border czar, Kamala Harris, reversed President Trump's immigration policies and welcomed a third world invasion, I traveled to our border. What did I see? The body of a migrant drowned in the Rio Grande. Human traffickers on the southern bank taunting the Border Patrol. Migrants huddled under a bridge. I asked them why they came. None said persecution. Most said for a job. A few admitted because they could get in. Another answered with one simple word: Biden.
Again, on immigration, Joe Biden continues to be extraordinarily vulnerable. Again, underscoring all of the Republican unity is the fact that Joe Biden has been such an awful president. He's been so terrible. And so Republicans are coalescing in extraordinary fashion. Dr. Ben Carson, who is, of course, the head of housing and urban development under Donald Trump, he spoke last night as well. Again, it was a cavalcade, a lot of speakers last night.
Let me tell you the weapons that they used. First, they tried to ruin his reputation, and he's more popular now than ever. And then they tried to bankrupt him, and he's got more money now than he had before. And then they tried to put him in prison, and he's freer and has made other people free with him. And then last weekend they tried to kill him, and there he is over there alive and well.
Now, of course, the quibble here is it's not the same they. I mean, they're some of these theys are actual forces in the government, like the DOJ, right? Some of these theys are the Democratic Party trying to twice impeach him. We still don't know, there's no evidence the shooter was working for the Democratic Party, God forbid, or that he was working for the White House, God forbid, or anything like that. But the generalized point stands, which is Donald Trump has had everything, including bullets thrown at him, and he is still standing. That, of course, is a point made by Laura Trump, the daughter-in-law of the president and current head of the RNC. She said, this president does not back down. That certainly is true.
I have seen this man dragged through hell and back, in and out of courtrooms, indictments, impeachments, mugshots, and even an assassination attempt. And yet, he has never backed down.
Marco Rubio was one of the keynoters of the night. Senator Rubio from Florida. He is making the case, again, for more populist conservatism. That, of course, is sort of the rhetorical case that the Trump campaign has made throughout. Presumably, we're going to get a lot of that tonight from Senator J.D. Vance, now the vice presidential nominee. Tucker Carlson is also speaking tonight. He presumably will make much the same case. Here is Senator Rubio making some of that case last night.
The last few days remind us that the life of every living thing and the breath of all mankind is in the hands of God. We were brought to the precipice of the abyss, and by the hand of God, reminded of what truly matters in our lives and in our country. This thing we do called politics, it matters. It's not unimportant. But it is our people who must always matter the most in everything we do.
Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, Me too. Join me in my newest series, Facts, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.